Hey, what's up to everybody out there? Welcome to another edition of the Round Table Talk. I am your host, C Money, and today we're doing another edition of Hotspots in South Florida. And right now we're at the nice, beautiful Shops at Sunset Place in South Miami, Florida, which is a premier shopping and entertainment location in the South Miami area. The Shops at Sunset Place dates back years and years and years. It's not a recently opened venue, but it dates back to many years with many different, venues that have came and gone. Before it became I'm going to give you a little bit of history. Before it became the Shops at Sunset Place, it was known as the Bakery Center, which hosts Wholesom's Bakery. And it was also a shopping venue, but it had shopping and a lot of stuff here, but it eventually closed in the mid-90s, and then they formed a place called the Shops at Sunset Place. Now the Shops at Sunset Place is a little bit more better than when it used to be the Wholesome Bakery Center. Now I actually went when it was the Bakery Center. I actually went because they housed one of the favorite children's hotspots, which was the Miami Children's Museum. At one point, it's where the Miami Children's Museum once, was located at. And I went as a younger kid, in my teenage years. I went. Now it is called the Shops at Sunset Place, which holds a lot of different shopping venues and a lot of different fun activities. One of the places that it houses is something that we will be venturing to in a little bit, which is called Game Time. But we're going to get into that in a little bit because I need to tell you a little bit of history about Game Time as well. Sunset Place housed a lot of things. One of the places that Sunset was known for, which is not here anymore, was the Virgin Music Store, Mega Music Store, which was a store that it was a two-floor music store. And when I was in high school, I used to love to come to that store because you get to listen to the music and stuff and all that. It no longer exists here. It's been gone for several years, but it used to be a place. Now, what sits behind me is a restaurant, I believe it's called Captain Lobster's. But before it was Captain Lobster's, it was a restaurant owned by Dan Marino. And I don't know if it was one of Dan Marino's popular restaurants, but it was a restaurant by Dan Marino. Now back to what I was saying about Virgin Mega Store. It was one of the few stores that Virgin, because Virgin Company, they have Virgin Mobile, now they have Virgin Brightline, Virgin Trains, which is on Brightline, and they have a lot of Virgin Airlines. Virgin is a company that has a lot of things. And the music store eventually, ended roughly in the, when the store first opened up, when Shops at Sunset first opened up, Virgin music store, mega store, I should say. One of the premier spots, and people used to go there a lot, like myself. But now it's more of a, it closed down and stuff like that. What you see behind me is the ticket booth to the AMC movie, which is the box office of the AMC movie theaters. And the movie theater sits upstairs. This is just the second floor of Shops at Sunset. The movie theater sits upstairs. And it's just a box office where you can go and purchase your tickets that you go upstairs to the movie theater as well. I'm walking around, the area. I'm giving you a slight, information about it. What sits here now is a couple of, places. This is called It's Sugar, if you don't know the place that's behind it. It's like a candy store or like a candy shop, like 50 Cent said, I take you to the candy shop, but it's actual candy shop, which is good. Also, what sits over here is also a Johnny Rockets as well. Now, when this first opened up, there was a game place. What you didn't see when we went, as we passed by the movie theater, there was also a bowling alley called Splitsville. I forgot to mention that. It was right next door to the box office of the movie theater. And Splitsville was just recently opened about a few years back as a bowling alley. And it's a nice bowling alley and stuff like that. The one thing about Splitsville that I didn't too much care for, I've never been inside, but they have it where at one point they had a dress code. And I'm like, a dress code to go to a bowling alley? Like, who would want that? At one point they had a dress code. Now, the thing about here was when this place opened up, there was a place called GameWorks. And GameWorks was a premier game room type place. Something like in our last previous episode, we did Extreme. Something like Extreme. But the only thing is, it was like a family fun center game room, where they have a game room with video games, arcades, games. They have a restaurant inside and everything up in it. What made Game Room interesting, they have virtual reality racing games, meaning one of the games, it was two actually when they opened up, where you get to race your friends up and down on an interactive ride. It was a racing interactive ride. It was like a interactive ride, interacting a ride and also a race, and it made GameWorks interesting. And GameWorks had a couple of locations, because they also had a location in Fort Lauderdale, Florida at Sawgrass Mills, which we will do a later show on that location, because that location now is a different location, it's a different, under a different company now. GameWorks was a premier spot here, and that was one of the places I used to go to as well as a young person. I used to come to GameWorks. And I actually did a event at GameWorks when it was GameWorks. I did an event there for my birthday before it turned around and stuff like that. So what ended up happening is that I did my research, and GameWorks the company that owned GameWorks filed for bankruptcy twice. Now GameWorks is still in operation in other locations throughout the U.S. and in different, certain countries. If you Google and Wikipedia it'll tell you that. This GameWorks location closed in roughly the mid-2000s. It closed. And what came about is it reopened, or it transformed into a place called Game Time. Now, Game Time is from my understanding, it's a Florida-based entertainment center. They're only based in other areas. Like, they have one in Tampa, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Daytona. I have to look it up. But they have I know they have one in Tampa. And they're soon to be opening one in Fort Lauderdale. Now, when they open up the one in Fort Lauderdale, I guarantee you we will be doing an episode there at the one in Fort Lauderdale. But it's not yet open yet. But I have did my research, and they will be opening one in Fort Lauderdale. Game Time is about the same as GameWorks. It's just that the interactive ride that they used to have at GameWorks no longer exists. And they turned the area into a redemption area where you can redeem your tickets and stuff like that and everything of that nature. Game Time, and I did a function at Game Time as well. I did a function for my birthday at Game Time. Game Time is like a family fun place. You can go to the restaurant, they have a bar, they have games. If you want to, get drinks, you want to shoot pool, they have a lot of different things that you can do there. We're going to take a tour inside of Game Time, but that's going to be towards the ending of this episode, because I want to more focus on the Shops at Sunset Place, which is a a popular spot in the South Miami area. I'm going to take you around the Shots of Sunset right now because I just sat down. Oh, I'm just I'm sorry. I have to make a correction to myself because I'm just now walking near the location that housed Johnny Rockets, and I see that Johnny Rockets is no longer existing. This is where Johnny Rockets used to be at. This tells you how long I have not been here, but you can see that it looks like a Johnny Rockets. But this will tell you that I have not been here for a second because Johnny Rockets was the premier spot here. Like people, and Johnny Rockets used to have, you get discounts if you got a movie ticket or something like that. You get discounts on food because Johnny Rockets was like the place that people used to go to before or after you go to the movies. But apparently Johnny Rockets closed here. Now the location in Fort Lauderdale that I was telling you about at Sawgrass Mills, that it used to be GameWorks, and that now has a different name. Inside there, the restaurant that sits inside there is actually Johnny Rockets. So you can actually go there for the Johnny Rockets, or you can actually go there for the game room as well. It's not the same company as Game Time. Here it's a different company, but the one at Sawgrass Mills, which we will get to in a future episode, does house Game Time. Does house Johnny Rockets. I'm sorry, that's there. Now, as you can see, there are different, stores and different, things that is here, but it's not many as much. What I'm about to take you to right now is where I was just telling you earlier in the show. This right here, I'm going to come in the front. It's called an office suite. When you see office suite, it's maybe an office building. What used to sit there is what I was telling you earlier in the video, was the Virgin Mobile Mega Store, which was a 2-story music store. This is the second floor of it. We're not on the first floor because I ended up going upstairs to try to talk to them about Game Time and everything. But this is where the Virgin Mobile Mega Store used to be housed at. Now, it wasn't the only location, but I believe it was the only Florida location. Miami location. The South Florida location. Now, as I come over here, I see a furniture store, which is called RH. I don't know what the furniture store here. One of the places that used to also be here, but I believe is out of business. There's a body spa and a sushi restaurant down here, because there's a couple of restaurants. Buffalo Wild Wings sits downstairs as well too, which is another premier hot spot food place that everybody likes to go to. What used to be here as well was the Nike store, which was a spot that premiered, that was nice, but the Nike store is no longer here. And another spot that used to be fun for, another retail spot that was fun, but they are closed. Now, the company itself, I believe, was supposed to go out of business or anything of that nature, but I don't know exactly. And it used to be where the LA Fitness is right here. If you can see where it says LA Fitness. It used to be at FAO Schwartz. FAO Schwartz was like a children-based store that sells like children's stuff and all that. That's where the LA Fitness used to be at. Now, that's one part of the LA Fitness. But if you was to go downstairs to the former, where the LA Fitness is downstairs, you will see that it's Sunset Place used to host an IMAX theater as well. But the IMAX theater was separated from the actual movie theater. So you didn't go to the movie theater for the IMAX. Now, they may have IMAX inside the movie theater now, but at one point, IMAX theater was separated from the actual movie theater. But where the IMAX is now, house LA Fitness. And as I see upstairs on the other floor, I see that there used to be a children's play center up there. I don't know the name, but I know it used to be a children's play center here. Something like Chuck E. Cheese to that nature. But it has since closed down. That's why I say a lot of the venues and a lot of the spots that used to be here at Shops at Sunset is now no longer here because maybe you know what I'm saying, the location and stuff. Even though Sunset Place was a nice location, it might be because of the location or it might be because of the. Now if you see here at the bottom, you see there's a nice little waterfall or and I don't know if it shows you because, you know, they don't allow you to see the nice little decorum and stuff like that. What it is that a lot of people like to take their pictures there because it's a nice place to take a picture and everything of that nature. Now, what we're going to do now is I'm going to go inside of Game Time because Game Time, I'm going to show you what's inside of Game Time. You know, I didn't go inside the movie. The Game Time sits on the third floor of the movie theater, as well as the movie theater. So they're like the only ones that sits on the actual third floor. So I'm gonna go up the stairs and Game Time, like I said, it used to be GameWorks, and it's a family premiere fun center, you know, and stuff like that. I'm gonna do once we get in, I'm gonna do a little quiet walkthrough so you can see how it looks with me and the thing, and then we're gonna run through Game Time and we're gonna see roughly how it is. As you can see, Game Time has outdoor seating where you can sit outside as well, and they have even actually inside the restaurant is called Arena Sports. And today it said they will be closing at 8 p.m. for a private event. Thank you. Okay, this is where you reload your cards at. Here, you can actually, or this is the service desk where you can load your cards at. Like you can do the self-service card reload location, or you go to one of the service personnel. See, I have a Game Time game card, so I'm good with mine. Now, I'm here on a weekday, which is preferably not as busy because it's around the school time and it's like during school hours, so you don't get as many people here. Now, roughly you see some of the game that is here, and you know, we're gonna go up because Game Time has 2 stories. Now, the one that set at Sawgrass Mills that used to be GameWorks is a 1-story, only has a first floor. This GameWorks was a 2, that used to be GameWorks that is now Game Time, has a 2-story area. So, and the party rooms and stuff is on the 3rd floor, and I'm roughly going to show you it. Now, we're walking around, you're seeing some of the games as you see me talk, you're looking at some of the games and stuff like that, and you know, you're getting a premiere. They have different prices and different things. They also have hour cards where you can play games that doesn't have toy redemptions or ticket redemptions, where you can play for like an hour or 2 hours or so for a decent price. Now, as you see, they have an elevator, but we're taking the stairs. Up so I can give you a clear view of everything. Now, this is the 2nd floor of Game Time. The one thing that I like about these big corporation fun centers is that, unlike our last show where we did Swap Shop, a lot of there's only 100% of all the videos of all the video games are in use. Where when we went to the Swap Shop and did our last episode, it was only a percentage of the games was not in use, and so you couldn't really play. You could only play like a certain amount of games here. But at these places, all the games are basically, I would say 99% of the games are in operation or in working condition. You may get some games that may be working, but it may be like messed up or something like that. But they are operational. What sits behind me, if you can see, is the VIP lounge. The VIP lounge is like a party venue spot where I actually did 2 of my events in. I did an event here when it was GameWorks, and I also did an event here when I was with I did an event here when it was GameWorks, and I also did an event here at Game Time a couple of years ago. Gonna walk around, you're gonna see the ride. You see the people ride. Well, you can't actually see people riding up cars. Now, a lot of these games are probably interesting games that you have seen. This is an interesting game where you can play on a screen. You have the controllers right there, and then you have the screen right there. So it's pretty much interesting. And they have a shooting game as well where you can shoot stuff like that, whatever. They have a shooting game and stuff. Now here's another party room which is called the Players Lounge, which is another party room. And over here is where you have the pool tables, and you have the jukebox, which is nice because this is the area where people, that like to play pool, they come play pool, they can swipe their card and play some. And if they want to listen to a little bit of music, they can listen to some music, which is a premier spot. The thing that makes this place interesting is that basically it's a like all out around place. Now, if you look at over here, the area down there is, I didn't show you, but it was spaced on the wall. Oh, I forgot, I need to show you. This is, you see down where it says, you probably won't see it, it's a thing on the wall that says Sky Pirates. That was one of the virtual reality games that they had when this was GameWorks. You probably can't really see it, but I'm gonna probably go down and do it. By the time I go down, it'll probably be, it'll probably be time for the shows to end, because I'm doing 30-minute shows. But it was called Sky Pirates, and it was one of those it was one of the virtual reality games, racing games that they had when it used to be GameWorks. But then when they turned it over into Game Time, it actually, because it was 2 of them. It was 2 games. One of them, while GameWorks was still in service, got taken off and stopped operating. Then they only had 1 left. But then after the 1 left, and then they turned it to, they took that one off eventually. Then eventually it became Game Time. This is one of the hottest spots in the South Miami area. I found a dot on the floor. What an interesting concept. So they have a lot of interesting games. I was just here roughly about a month or 2 ago. I was just here because I don't go here as much, but I know like one of my former co-workers and stuff, and their family and stuff, they come out here as much. Now see, the restaurant is called, let me see if I can get it. I'm trying to get the restaurant in the picture. I'm trying to get the restaurant in the picture. It is called Arena Sports Bar and Grill, because basically what it is that you get to watch the games and you get the food that you want. Now, what I was telling you about earlier There it is that says there it is where it says Sky Pirates. That was one of the, I'm trying to get it into the view, I'm sorry y'all. Sky Pirates. That was one of the virtual reality games that was here when it was game time. And this area used to be where it sat at. There used to be one on this side and then there used to be one on the other side of the wall. But they tore the wall down and they didn't tear the wall down, they made the one on this side, the left side of it, they stopped use. And only the one on the right side was operating. Then eventually they stopped the one on the right side and then they tore the wall down and they made the redemption center a little bit bigger than normal. Now this is a hot spot to bring your family and stuff like that, and for their parties is not as expensive. You only pay like a couple of $100 for their parties. My last party roughly here only costed me at game time roughly no more than like $400 and something, which wasn't bad at game time. It was not bad. So it was a pretty decent price. And you know, so it's not bad. But this is one of the nicest hotspots that I like to go to because it's a local hotspot compared to Extreme Action Park and Boomers and the Swap Shop Fort Lauderdale. This is local for me for the Miami area. Now, the one thing that doesn't set this doesn't like it doesn't have like any type of setting room. You know, it sits differently from the other places. It's just a regular game room. And the only thing about this game room is most of their games are up-to-date game room. You have certain retro games like, you know, you have the Centipede game, and you have the World's Largest Pac-Man, which you can play. And also, if you come over here, and I will show you roughly what I'm talking about, they have, if I'm not mistaken, I was looking. No, they also have Wheel of Fortune here, which you can roughly see right there, Wheel of Fortune. If you come over here, they also have, wait, I need to come back to it. A retro arcade thing right here where you can play different games, and one of my favorite stick though, and you know that. And they also have a little interactive ride, but they have two interactive rides actually. They have well, for now they have one of them. I think they used to, no, they have two. This is one of them. It's called a Mini Rider 2, which is like a virtual reality ride. But it's not really virtual reality. You're just sitting in the car and like a little thing, you're moving around and it's just something to it. And the other one is called the Typhoon, which is here, where it sits two people and you're like, you can ride like you're riding on a roller coaster or anything of that nature. Now, what used to be over here was like a 10-car racing area. Used to be like a Daytona 500 or so. That used to be over here where they used to house like 10 cars and everybody race against each other. That was taken out roughly around the time game time was coming into action. Now, they have another one similar to it over here, but it's not as 10 cars. You know, it's like a different setting of it, which is right here, and it's operated by Sega. Now, this is a nice spot to go to if you want to come out and have a great time, and you want to come out if you're in the Miami area and you want some kids. You know, like I said, there's a lot of places in the South Florida area that is nice to come out. It's just wherever you go at is where it's at. Like if you're in the Palm Beach, West Palm Beach, if you're in the Southwest Palm Beach area, you have Boomers, because Boomers sits different from others because it has, you know, games and you know, attractions and stuff like that. This is in the South Miami area, which there are more locations in the South Miami area that we're going to be visiting. You know, this is just one of the first South Miami area attractions that we are. But I would like to thank all of y'all for tuning in to this episode of the Roundtable Talk for our Hotspots. I'm finna go load my car and have a little fun. at it. If you want to comment or have questions about this, you can comment at the bottom of this episode. You can also email us roundtable00@yahoo.com. This is Wheel of Fortune, one of my favorite games. And you can also, like I said, email us roundtable00@yahoo.com. You can also comment at the bottom of this page. If you want to learn more about this venue, Google it, Game Time, and check out their website. It might be gametime.com if I'm not mistaken. But if you want to know more info about any of our locations that we did in our shows, you can Google them. You know what I'm saying? Google Boomers Boca Raton, Google the Swap Shop Fort Lauderdale, Google Extreme Action Park, Google Game Time Miami, and go to their websites and check them out, and you can actually find out more information on their hours, their pricing, and anything of that nature. I can't tell you the hours, I can't tell you the pricing, because there's different hours and different pricing. Most of these places like this are open to 2 a.m. on weekends, and some places are open to like midnight, maybe 11. So you have to check out what times and that they are open. So, and I know with this one, I believe after a certain time, any child have to be accompanied by an adult to enter the premises, which is not bad, because basically they just, for safety reasons, and they don't want kids after hours coming to locations like this. And this also, Sunset Place used to be a premier spot for a lot of people. They used to go to the movies, because I used to go to the movies at Sunset Place back in my early years. As an adult, I used to go to Sunset Place, go to the movies and stuff, and then I used to come back and go home. It's like a spot for everybody. But like I said, I appreciate everybody watching this episode of the Roundtable Talk. Like I said, if you want to know more about this venue location or any other locations, Google it. Google this venue, Game Time Miami. Check out their website. They probably have pictures and stuff on it. I gave you a grand tour. If you want to know more about Sunset Place, check out Sunset Place. Our main focus in this episode was Game Time, because this is one of the hot spots in the South Florida area. But we also wanted to give you an overview of the shops at Sunset Place, because there's other things to do here at Sunset Place, like the movie theater, which is operated by AMC, and also Splitsville, which is a bowling alley, and restaurants and stuff like that as well. So this is Sunset Place. It's a premier spot in the South Miami area. Roundtable00@yahoo.com. Comment at the bottom of this episode and let us know your comments. Do you like the show? Do you don't like the show? What do you want to know more about? If anything, if you want to see any South Florida venue on this show, let us know. If you forgot any venue that you would like to see, let us know. I appreciate everybody for taking the time out to watch this episode. I am your host, C Money. This is a Roundtable Talk. I'm about to load my car and have a little bit of fun here, because it's not a lot of people here, so I can enjoy myself a little bit. This is a Roundtable Talk, and I'm out. Have a best day.